behind that.
Ranks. Yeah, ranking things with Matt Hasselbeck as we do on Wednesdays. I've tried to be good to myself here and live up to my promise that I would spend more time on this show focused on some of the really great things that athletes do, and Tyler Lockett being named as the Seahawks nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award is really high on that list. He does so many good things, and his Light It Up Foundation does a lot in Tulsa, which is a remarkable city, and it's worth even just Googling it or reading the story on Seahawks.com for sort of why that's important to him and what it means. Go do it if you have a few minutes. But Matt, with that in mind, we thought we would ask you to rank the best people you were around in your NFL career, essentially the Matt Hasselbeck version of the Walter Payton Award.
Well, let me say this. I'm not worthy of that title on it, so I'm going to give the title to a guy I'm not putting on the list, but he could be at any one of these spots. Chris Gray. Chris Gray, the right guard forever. Unsung hero of unsung heroes. Seriously, the best human being on the planet. We talk about Walter Jones and Hutch and Tobeck and all those guys. Chris Gray is that guy. So he's not on the list, but he deserves to be on this list. An amazing guy.
Okay.
So number 5, I'm going to start out with Isaiah Kazzavinsky, special teams captain when we went to the Super Bowl. Just an incredible life story. Grew up poor, single parent. His mom passed away. Grew up homeless. Found a way to Harvard. Had a great career in the NFL, Harvard Business School. Now he's crushing it after football. He's got a VC firm. He's just doing great, but just really an amazing guy who gave 100% effort all the time, gave us everything he ever had, and was like exactly what you're looking for in a teammate. And not a lot of guys at Harvard. So Isaiah Kazzavinsky gets number 5.
Number 5.
Number 4, our safety from the 05 season from Florida State, Michael Boulware, number 28. This was probably the nicest person I ever played with in the NFL, and the ball always seemed to find him. So I certainly don't believe in karma or anything like that, but our team, it was almost like, wait a sec, do you think it's a coincidence that like the nicest guy in the team, every tipped ball finds its way to him? I mean, he was a linebacker in college, was trying to learn to play strong safety, and it was working because this dude just came up with interception after interception, fumble recovery. Michael Boulware, like the nicest guy that you'll ever meet.
All right. And it worked for him.
And it worked for him.
The football karma gods.
Number 3 and number 2, like Max Strong won this Walter Payton Award so many times, so he's on this list, and I'm putting him with number 2, Walter Jones. Okay, 2 of the best guys you've ever been around. Irony is when they were teammates of mine, they would never talk. Quick story about
to each other or just at all?
To anybody. But one time, there was like a golf tournament in town, and those guys never had roommates, but because all the pro golfers were staying at our hotel or something, they had to be roommates for a game. And at pregame, they come down. I think Max Strong comes down first. We're like, hey, how was it rooming with Walt last night? He's like, man, I don't think I could do that anymore. He likes the room too hot. It was like 80 degrees in that room. Like, maybe that's what it takes to be a great player, but if that's what it takes, I can't do it. He likes the room too hot. Mac leaves pregame meal. We stay. We're talking. Walter Jones comes down. Hey, man, how was rooming with Max Strong last night? Man, I can't do that. He likes the room too hot. Like, wait, did you guys not talk to each other? Like, he was just down here. He said he didn't like the room hot either. Like, oh, well, guess we should have said something to each other. So, incredible guys, but they were so quiet when they were playing in the NFL. Just went about their business, did awesome things in the community. They didn't do it for photo opportunities or anything like that. They were just doing it from the goodness of their heart, like all of these guys. And it was, the unselfishness was a really cool thing.
Well, first of all, it's always amazing to me the irony of guys that don't speak at all that end up becoming media people. I mean, both of them have worked in the media since retirement. It's always funny to me how that will happen. And then the second thing is, I just think it's incredibly sweet that you left the number 1 spot for Brock Heward after all this time. That's so nice of you that number 1 was Brock Heward. Wow, Matt, that's really going to mean a lot to him.
Brock Heward was way too much of a prankster. Like, the pranks that guys like Brock or Trent Dilfer or even our old punter Jeff Feagles, like the pranks were too serious to get on this list.
Jeff Feagles the guy whose feet were 2 different sizes, or like his legs were 2 different sizes or something?
I don't know. Jeff Eagles is a punter, great punter for Seattle for a long time, and never got any credit. And then all of a sudden he punts 1 year with the New York Giants, and everyone's like, Hall of Famer. We got to do stories on this guy. He's in the New York market. It was a big slap in the face to how we were all feeling for a while, being kind of in the witness protection program when the way the NFL looked at us.
All right, number one.
Number one, this guy does not get enough credit. A running back at a Cal University, Justin Forsett. And the reason I say that is because he was the starting running back when we traded for Marshawn Lynch in October. And Marshawn came in, and it would have been a very, very tough adjustment. But the unselfishness and the help that Justin Forsett was to Marshawn, teaching his replacement. And really doing it in such an unselfish way. Justin essentially became the third down back, but really helped Marshawn succeed, not only that year, but for a long time in Seattle. And I don't know that it would have happened without that running back room, which was Sherman Smith and Justin Forsett. And Marshawn's a great guy, but I think it kind of... He set the table for how unselfish he was and how much he was willing to, like I said, train his replacement to come help us right away. So obviously an incredible guy in the community as well. He's doing well in business after football, and he's a guy that you can certainly be proud of. Justin.
Well, and if I
Forsett.
remember right, he and Marshawn were like best friends from Cal. They already knew each other, so I think there was a relationship there. He also, if I remember right, did he like sing his engagement to his wife or something like that? He wrote her a song. There's some story in there.
I could certainly, yes, you're right about that. He's also been on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
But I would say that part of Pete Carroll and the Seahawks' willingness to go get Marshawn and trade for him with the Buffalo Bills, I am sure a part of that factor to doing the trade was understanding who they had at the running back position in Justin Forsett. And without Justin Forsett, who knows if they even make that trade?
That's cool.
And then who knows if it ever would have been as successful as it was.
Well, congratulations, Tyler Lockett, who by all accounts is right there as one of the great guys in the game, and he certainly appears that way from our perspective. And nominated. Seahawks won the award last year with Russell Wilson, and they'll try to give it a shot again this year.